Alright, so here we are, we live again. It's 4:50 on the dot, just turning into 4:51 there. So we're starting. And tomorrow, God willing, more of the same, and more of the same the day after, and more of the same the day after, and more of the same day after. Daily lives, we're catching into the thing here. So as soon as it touch down, close off the live chat, press like, open back up the live chat. If you're watching the video after the stream, press like and double tap until you reach to when we start the question. You know, normally I just give 1 or 2 minutes before we jump into it. And of course, I left my pen somewhere strange, but we don't need the pen. I can use my finger this time. Good afternoon, Ren. Ren, who used to be here on time, every time on the dot. So, Alex, good to see you. Akia, Sabrina, what's up? Ashani, Narvin, Selena, Keon. Shout out to all the early people. Early people, do your duty. Press like on the video. We seen a discrepancy here between the number of viewers and like. As I said, this is pressing like is like paying your lessons fee. It's like paying your lessons fee. So let me start to get some answers now. Good afternoon, Timothy, Awati, Just Life, Baby Cakes, Shani, Kishan, Lizanne, Liz, what's up? Apple, Meladion, Kyle. Shout out to everybody here. We start to get some answers to this question. So it's a kind of noisy setting today. But hopefully the background noise is not too disturbing for you. If it getting too loud, let me know. I'll see what I could do. I don't know, I don't make them already. It's not much I could do. In an open field, Lukas walks 18 meters towards the south. Now, some of these questions I made not too long ago, so I'm hoping there's no discrepancy in the question, but all these questions are based off of themes that come for your multiple choice for the CSEC exam, so this is preparing you solid, very solid for your CSEC exams. Every afternoon, 4:50. Maybe tomorrow might be a little pure maths, maybe, or maybe we might do maths and then do pure maths if I have the energy. In an open field, Lukas walks 18 meters towards the south of the field, then turns and walks 24 meters in an eastern direction. So, big man walking, he walked 18 meters towards the south. So, there's the boy Lukas here. We get I seen the CSEC is fine. We don't want no answers from you. We don't want no answers from you, CSEC is fine. Good afternoon, all the way from Guyana. Finita, big up yourself. Watching from St. Lucia, Beauty and the Brains, big up yourself. Say hi to my mom, please. Her name is Tamika. Tamika, moms, shout out. So we right now we're drawing. I kind of just waiting for people to come in. We're drawing my boy Lukas here. Lukas with a K. We join Lukas, and Lukas is walking 18 meters south. And then he decided to walk 24 meters east. Now, I'm seeing C's. Let me get some answer. The answer is C, says Kishan. Selena is from Guyana as well. We have north, east, west, south. That is how it's set up, right? So north, east, south, west. On your paper, north is up, east is in the right direction, west is in the left direction, and south is down. North, east, south, west. Vibes are one time. Is this part of trigonometry? Yes, it comes under that kind of setting with trigonometry, bearings, that kind of thing. And we'll see how it's going to happen. So you walk 18 meters due south, 18 meters in the southern direction, and then he walks 24 meters this way. Not drawn to scale because this 24 looking less than the 18. So let me give him a little more sauce. Let me say that is 24. And what is the total distance walked? But before we calculate the total distance, before you add 18 and 24 and get what? 42. Anybody say A? Nobody say A. So that is obviously not the answer. People saying C. People saying C is the answer. Some people saying D. I'm waiting for answers here, yo. He then returned via a straight line. So he returned to his original position, I'm guessing. So he gone back. And this original walk back here, we don't know. But because this is north, this was This is the northern direction here. He walked south, and this is east. It means that these two meet at 90 degrees, right? This is an hour stream. Usually it's half an hour, but I think today might take an hour. It depends on how much energy we have out here, how active you all are, if you all could handle the hour. So 18, 24, unknown, and they want the whole distance. This is where I'm about to teach you the biggest thing that comes in tricks in almost all multiple choice. For those who just touch on press line, the biggest thing that comes in tricks for multiple choice is this what I'm about to teach you. I mean, it's not a big thing, it's a small thing, but it's always coming in every paper. They don't need to be CSEC, it could be any subject, any examining body. They're always testing this at this level of maths. They're testing known triangles. So let me just go to a new page. Do you remember Pythagoras Theorem? Pythagoras Theorem is if this is A, this is B, this is C, because we're learning as we're doing the questions, right? That's how we do in these classes. C squared is equal to A squared plus B squared. You all know that's Pythagoras Theorem. The sum of the square of the other two sides of the right angle triangle is equal to the square of the hypotenuse. The hypotenuse is the longest side on the triangle. It's the side that is opposite to the right angle. That's how we know the hypotenuse. So the hypotenuse squared is always equal to the sum of the other two square sides. Now we can't explore this too deeply, but what I can tell you, there's some numbers that do it exact. Like 3, 4, and 5. What do I mean by do it exact? Let's see. If I plug in 3 squared here and 4 squared here, a lot of people switching their answers now. 3 squared here and 4 squared here, I will get 9 plus 16, which is 25, and that is C squared. And what number squared gives 25? It means C is the square root of 25, and you're using positive numbers, so you don't need to worry about the negative 5. It is 5. So this triangle does it and gives you whole numbers. That is a rare thing. That doesn't happen all the time. Let me show you. Like if I do 1, 2, what is that going to be? It's going to be 1 squared plus 2 squared, square root of that. Square root of 1 squared is 1 plus 2 squared is 4. And you have the square root of 5. You can't see. Let me just bring this up. So that is what that triangle in red that just do on the side there would be. That. And nobody knows what the square root of 5 is. You know what the square root of 5 is? I mean, your calculator could get a nice little estimate and thing, but most triangles will give you decimals. But some triangles do it clean. And this is what we call, somebody just write it there. This is what we call the 3, 4, 5 triangle. So anytime you have a right angle triangle, and you see one side is 3, the next side is 4, and they do all kind of ways to hide it. Right now it's hidden in our question there. And you see one side is 3, and one side is 4, it means this side must be 5. You hear what I'm saying? They test this every single year. You hear what I'm saying? They test this every single year. Write that down. So 3, 4, 5 triangle, some concept of this will be tested. 3, 4, 5 triangle, understanding that in a multiple choice. Now here's how they can hide it. They can do it like this, put it upside down like this, put 3, 4, and that is still 5. They could give you the 3, and they could ask you what is this side. That side is 4. So you have to be ready. Now you can always use your Pythagoras theorem to figure it out. But knowing the 3, 4, 5 triangle, will really help. We just start, Patrick. We just start. Knowing the 3, 4, 5 triangle helps you save time. And here's the next way they can hide it. What about if this triangle was 6 and this triangle was 8? What do you think this triangle here is? Give me triangle. This side is 6. This side is 8. What do you think the hypotenuse is going to be? What do you think the hypotenuse is going to be? This is the next way they hide it. They use, by using, remember this is like a 4 in disguise and this is like a 3 in disguise. They use multiples of the 3, 4, 5 triangle. So you notice each one multiplied by 2. So it means this one, yep, is going to be 3, 4, 5. 5 by 2 is 10. That making sense? So this side is 10. Somebody say 7. Nah, this side is 10. Because remember, this is like 5 getting multiplied by 2. So it's called a 6, 8, 10. And it can be any multiple. So like if this is 9 and this was 12, you multiply by 3, okay, fair enough. This is going to be 15. Now let's go back to our triangle here. It's a little hidden, it's a little hard to see, but this is 18, 24. When you charge up and you prepare really good, your eyes don't peel for that. Because remember, you can't use your calculator, and in multiple choices never really give you anything that need real what's the calculation and thing. Never. Maybe like one question in the whole 60 might have you multiplying and doing hard division and them kind of thing. If so much. Understanding this, right? Those who just came in, it's loading. Are you all see me? Let me know. Is it working? Oh, it's stuck and then it's sat back. I see him take cries. It's sat back. If it's stick again, it could be because right now they're watching things outside, so I just tell them to hold up within some maths and thing. We ain't done yet, people. We ain't done yet. We ain't done this question yet. I know I'm spending a little time on this question, but it's very important, and you all are going to get this in your exam. So 18, 24, 30, and now we want to get the total distance. So the total distance, you add up all the individual sides. You add up all the individual sides. If it's stick again, let me know. So 18, 24, 30, add that up and let me know all you get. Well, this 8 and this 4 will give me 12. So I know it's either 42 or 72, and 42 is too little bit. So it's looking like 72. Yeah, 42 and 30 is 72. Why is in the chat if you understand that? So you're using flow now. Let me just double check outside and see what. Nice. Next question. So you see mostly Y's. All Y's actually. Next question. And we understand something they call the 3, 4, 5 triangle, which is a vital part of cracking down the multiple choice quickly. Now there's additional types of triangle. Anybody in the chat could tell me another triangle that does it? We'll talk about it again just now. So you'll get a little recap for those who just touching it, you know. Let's start the bill. Alright, I see 102 likes and the pressing like. Well done. Now what has happened is the more you press like, YouTube seems to send out more notifications to all the followers. So like some of you all just saw the notification pop up, right? The more active it is, the more notifications will get sent out, and like is one of them. How much you all chatting is one too. But let's chat real plenty, so that I don't even tell it to type. So let's talk real plenty. It's just to make sure that you press like when you're coming. Which of the following is a representation of Pythagoras Theorem using the triangle below? Let's get some answers. Sir, Selena, I understand. Alright, don't worry about that, Selena. We're coming back to it, don't worry. Which of the following is a representation of Pythagoras Theorem using the triangle below? Alright, it's 3 marks. Let me see the answers here. I seen A, I seen B. Alim, of course, you're getting that. Blessings. This is, you don't even need to do anything for this question. You just need to shout out the answer. I see in A, B, and C. Anybody for the D? Anybody for the D? CSEC spy, we are answering here for. Right. It blurry. Nah, that's a you problem. Again, full connection. Right, so the answer is indeed A. We just said that. We actually just said that. C squared is equal to A squared plus B squared. the hypotenuse squared is equal to the sum of the square of the other two sides. Just need to know that. Or C is equal to the square root, if you see it like this, A squared plus B squared. Right? But it's usually written like this, so you don't need no radicals, no square root. So C squared is equal to A squared plus B squared. And be careful, because sometimes they will do you this stupidness. They may put the letter A here and put B and C here and put the thing here. Well, in this case, is A squared is equal to B squared plus C squared. You catch that? Because A now holding down the hypotenuse position. So look out for them little tricks. Keep your mind open, though, going automatic. The real adamant CSEC is to be to do the multiple choice. I'm smelling a little change in the multiple choice. I'm smelling like it mightn't be the exact same thing we are accustomed to year in, year out. That's an easy question, by the way. That question is like a 1-second question. 13, number 13. That question, will take you the time it takes to shade. You just watch that question, make sure you got the correct thing, check the rest of the answers, and just start shading. Tomorrow from the UK. This video was recommended, so I just joined. At least we get recommended to the UK. Well, everybody out of school now, so you see a little maths, you might jump in. Tomorrow, you understanding my accent? Are you understanding the words that are coming out of my mouth? Using Pythagoras Theorem and the trigonometric ratios, which of the following is the same as sine squared x plus cos squared x? Now for CSEC maths, this don't really come. For CSEC add maths, obviously this could come. Pure maths, obviously this could come. But it can show up in CSEC maths. And I think a year or two ago, it showed up in paper 2. This technique. Right? Somebody is saying C. C, sir. Alima is saying C. Natalie is saying C. This maths is for 15, 16, 17, that around that age. Somebody saying B, Jared saying B, Josh saying C, Simon saying C. Alright, let's get into it because it will take some time. So they say to use Pythagoras Theorem and the trigonometric ratios. The trigonometric ratios are so, ka, toa. Some people have acronyms to remember this, but I feel like everybody could just remember SOHCAHTOA toa and done. It's not that hard. I feel like it's not that hard. I mean, as a maths teacher, I can see that. SOHCAHTOA toa. And what does expanded, what does that mean? The trigonometric ratios expanded is saying that the sine of the angle, let me say like x then. Sine of x is equal to opposite over hypotenuse. Opposite over hypotenuse. And the cos, by the way, what is the opposite in this case? In this case, it means that the sine of x will sometimes be theta. See, I said at a press conference today. Trisha, if you're in the student hub, link it to the student hub now. Opposite, I wasn't really paying attention or in the student hub today, so I don't know if they already posted. I was in the student hub early this morning. So that is sine. And the reason I'm saying A over B, because if this is the angle, the opposite is A, and the adjacent is the one next to it, other than the hypotenuse. The hypotenuse is always the hypotenuse. But the opposite and the adjacent can switch. For example, it can switch up on here now. If it had no x here, if it had an x here, all of a sudden the opposite is B now, and the adjacent is A. But it is not so. So, and there's other ratios as well. There's cosine of x is adjacent over hypotenuse. And I have videos going through this in depth. So that is the cos of x is equal to, what is the adjacent? B over C. Let me take a little read at the chat there. some old horses can always hear their owner's approach. Yeah, that's what some people use. Oh shoots, no, I mean C. So we have a battle between C, A, and B. Well, not much B's. Oh no, I guess some people probably saying that when I'm talking about this. And the final trigonometric ratio is TOA. TOA. So tan x is equal to opposite over adjacent. This should just be revision for most of you all anyhow. So TOA. Why is in the chat if it's just revision for you? And if you're seeing this for the first time, brand new. So tan x in this case is the opposite over the adjacent A over B. Now in this case, we don't need this because they just have sine squared and cos squared. So I'm going to eradicate this, cut it out, and we have this and that. Now they want us to figure out what sine squared x plus cos squared x is. By the way, we're supposed to use Pythagoras Theorem as well. So let me just write that down here. C squared, I'll write that down in a next color because, you know, colors, we already explained this. Right, so everybody is just revision. So you could go live after this with the CXE stuff. What do you mean? I learning while you're going. Alright, cool. So check sine x. A over, thanks bro. A over C, sorry about that. A over C. So opposite over hypotenuse. Talking and writing. Or plenty of people say C. Just correcting me. I guess probably that's what I meant. Alright, so we figure out that. So sine x is equal to A over C. Opposite over hypotenuse. I had B here. I don't know where I write B. It'll be interesting for me to go back and see what make me lost my train of thought there. And this one is B over C. Adjacent over hypotenuse. So C squared is equal to A squared plus B squared. This is Pythagoras Theorem. So we have the three things that they tell us to use. The trigonometric ratios and Pythagoras Theorem. This is a hard question, by the way. And this is a question that could come. It's not a question that they really bring so far. It's a question that you need to be able to stretch your imagination and understand really good. Tying in Pythagoras Theorem and trigonometric ratios in a multiple choice. It stick? No, it didn't stick. It will kill. And I ain't getting no warning. No drop frames either. So let's go on. So we're taking a little long. Let's go on. Sine squared x plus cos squared x. That's what they want, right? Sine squared x plus cos squared x. We need to figure out what this is. So we're going to do a little substitution. This is sine x and this is cos x. When you see sine squared x, it means square what sine x is. Sine squared x, square what sine x is. Even AdMath students do AdMath, get 1 in AdMath and still don't know. Sine squared x mean whatever sine x was, square that. Right? So sine x was A over C. Right? So we're squaring that. And cos squared x was B over C. So we're squaring that as well. So in the end, we are going to get, I see a lot of people say C because they're thinking ahead, but it still have a little problem for those who say in C. In the end, we are going to get, I don't want to skip too many steps, but like I don't want to go to a new page. Decisions. Gonna have to go to a new page. So we have, I don't want to, alright, so copy, paste, we up here people, we out here. I want you all to see the algebra in this really good, so I don't want to skip any steps. If you, this is a question I get asked by students even on Instagram, if I have like 3 squared over like, you say x, and you put the square here and they want you to square the whole thing, yes, that is the same as like 3 squared over x squared. So if you have the whole fraction to be squared, you could square the numerator and the denominator separately. Yes, you can do that. That is what you're supposed to do. So this is a squared over c squared, you understand? And this is b squared over c squared. And what you know, if you have the same denominator and you're adding, you can just put it over 1. C squared and A squared plus B squared. So a lot of people holding on the C. And now they're seeing a little problem with holding on the C, because what do you see over here? You see a positive sign. Yes. Janine. Yes. This is more ad maths question for the CSEC maths people who are a little worried and like, this feeling a little too much. Right? It's more ad maths question, but I have seen it come in CSEC maths once, and it had a real problem. People complain about it, so you might swing it for the multiple choice. And definitely understanding the concept of this is a good way to strengthen your Pythagoras theorem, trigonometric ratios, trigonometry on a whole. Is actually the proof for something, the proof for the number one proof in identities in ad maths. This is actually the proof for that. So this C is not the same as this, because there's a plus sign here and there's a negative sign here, so it's not C. So what can it be? And it's not B as well. Answer switching. Okay, I choose B. Well, I changed my mind. Thanks, this. Where's worry? Yeah. Oh God, that maths. Anything can happen in CSEC. Yes. All right. So what's going on here is that we didn't use Pythagoras theorem yet. We just write it. Pythagoras theorem says that anytime you see A squared plus B squared, you can just write C squared. So A squared plus B squared here can be replaced. Yo, this is really C squared. So you're gonna put C squared over C squared, and if enter the same thing over the same thing is 1. So yes, it is B. Why is in the chat to figure that? I won't be going over this question. I really explain this question and beat it out. So if you just touch down, if you miss a piece of it, Timothy, watch your language there. And your comment hidden. Only me and you could see what you write before. But watch it. Yeah, so if you missed it, just go over it. Just look over this part of the video and it's done. Let's get another question. Question 14. So we normally just do like a little 5 questions, 5 technical questions on the subject, but we'll do 10 today now. What do you say about that? 10? 10 today? We're afraid to work out, yeah? How about 20? How about we go whole night? What is the length of BC in the triangle below? So this is usually what comes. Stuff like this. Real easy thing. For CSEC trigs. You must be able to do this quickly. You must understand all the ratios. I'll go through the ratios again, but I want to see what answers you'll get. So people really struggle. Alarm boy. People really struggle with I posted this question on Instagram, and normally it'll be like 100 replies and thing. This one has 34. So I posted the question, not this question. No, we didn't do the question yet that I posted on Instagram. And anybody here single? Kyle. Anyway, do I have to do yes? Yes, is only going to be multiple choice. No, that's all night. I'm not about that. So let me do it all night now. We will be doing some, but not right now. Let me do while it up to it. What is the length of BC in the triangle below? So I'm saying AAD, A version says D. Synestia says B. Natalie says B as well. This is maths, not a dating science. See, the answers are real different here, but I'd post up this one too. Actually, this is an easiest question, so that the answers is different. That's a sign of that's a worrying sign. So I'm just going to use a normal triangle here, a right angle triangle. I don't know why I can't do this. Going on here, way better than that. A, B, C. Let me see if I had X here, right? In fact, I'm not going to put x. I'm not going to put thing. I'm just going to put hypotenuse. And I'm writing these two in a different color because these two can switch. They can switch on you. They can switch on you. They're like an untrustworthy girlfriend or something. They could switch on you. Because if I just move this x here, you know, if your x move, them go switch. Right? If this x just come across here, the opposite will go there and the adjacent will go there. It's not like them stick. The hypotenuse stuck here for this triangle. He can't move. He'll always be the longest side opposite the right angle. So if the ratios are SOHCAHTOA, right? Sine of theta, or in this case x, is the opposite over the hypotenuse. Now this is always the same. Sine of x will always be the opposite, whatever the opposite is, over the hypotenuse. Cos of x will always be the adjacent over the hypotenuse. Tan of x will always be the opposite over the adjacent. And those in ADMATS, this explains why the sine curve looks like that, and the cos curve looks like this. Sorry, like this, and the tan curve looks like this. Because that was real hideous. Because tan could get away. You could press tan of an angle and get a number higher than 1. If you press sine of an angle or cos of an angle, you'll never get a number higher than 1. Because the hypotenuse is always bigger than the opposite. The hypotenuse is always bigger or equal to, if it's a straight line, than the adjacent. So you could never get this escaping out of 1. This one can, because the opposite and the adjacent is what they want. Anyhow, you see this? Screenshot this. Post it on Instagram or screenshot this and keep it for yourself if you don't know it, or write it down. You should be starting 4:45, 4:50 every day. You should be here for about 4:45. And walk with your book, walk with your calculator. Nah, no calculator. Walk with your book, walk with your notebook, pen, everything, and every week. You might need a calculator. You might do some paper 2 stuff in between too, just in case, you know, just the vibes it a little better. And yeah, so take down this and memorize this if you don't have this memorized as yet. Some people have this memorized, but when they see this, obviously we see people getting problems to solve this one. So, what is the length of BC in the triangle below? This is BC. So now you're supposed to ask yourself, what do we have? And what are we trying to find? We have the angle lying over here. So that is like our angle A. We have the opposite, and we have the adjacent. When you have opposite and adjacent, it means you're not using sine, you're using tan. Anytime you're dealing with opposite and adjacent, I mean, we don't have the adjacent, we're trying to find the adjacent, but it means that it's part of what we're using, so it's tan. So this is how you start off. You say tan of the angle, because you're always taking the angle, is equal to the opposite over the adjacent, which is what we're trying to find. BC is what we're trying to find. Sometimes we just write BC. So now, what to do when you're like this, people? This is just algebra here. Tan 50 is equal to 30 over BC. You know, you can just take that BC and send him so, and that tan 50 and send him so. Like, that's how you would see it after a while, right? But the longer way is to say you're multiplying by BC on both sides and you're dividing by tan 50 on both sides. So in the end, you should end up with BC is equal to 30 over tan 50 D. Why is in the chat? Why is in the chat if you understand that? Now, any one of the ratios could come, and one of the ratios not could come, will come. In your exam below, knowing this will be tested in your exam. You hear what I'm saying? Based on my experience, knowing this will be tested in your exam, and knowing these 3, 4, 5 triangles, these triangle things, will be tested in your exam. I mean, you could get through it if you just know Pythagoras Theorem, but it will be faster for you to do the question if you know your 3, 4, 5 triangles. And there are some others. Let's see. Let's keep going now. Alright, so number 15. We move in places. See in the chat jumping, like the Y crew. Y is in the chat. Let me get some answers for this. So we yet to reach the question that I threw down on the on Instagram that have people back in. I mean, I see some people get the correct answer on Instagram, and some people explained it on Instagram too, and it was the correct explanation. So answer me now, boy. Use the man who tracking people girl join inside my class, Kyle. Alright, let me see what Kyle wanted to answer. You just do chemistry and think, yeah. And to see chemistry on the channel, search Cohen Springer Chemistry. You can learn the whole of organic chemistry on this channel. Because I do the whole of organic chemistry. And I mean, like, in real nice structured videos with cutout thing, real kindergarten thing. Break it down, real simple feel. Like if you're memorizing organic chemistry, you get through. Whoever turn it is the screenshot and tag me on Instagram, feel free to do so now. I just need like about 5 people to do it. So if you're feeling a voice in your ears telling you, it's your turn, it's your turn. Right? So screenshot, tag me on Instagram in your story. And let me keep getting more people inside the classes. Cain went to sleep on a boat that was sailing at a bearing of 225 degrees. When he woke up, the boat was headed in a northeasterly direction. Okay, the angle through which the boat turned was what? I need to go and think that. Shani, holy faith. Yeah, Selena, I remember you're on the 3, 4, 5 triangles. Don't worry, I forget. Somebody saying C. 2 people said D. Well, 1 person said C twice, but 2 different persons said D. Again, some more D's. Key and Sabrina Wren, they are holding on the D committee. Hey, the likes looking more than the viewers right now. That is vibes. About the same. D. Sean D saying C. 1 person saying 225, which is not even on the answer sheet there. Alright, so let's get started. So Cain went to sleep on a boat that was sailing at a bearing of 225. So north 225 is about here. So 225. Remember, this is 180, right? This is 90, but in bearings we say 090. And this is 270, right? So 225 in the middle here. But we know it in the middle for sure because, like in the middle here, you need a little 45 this way. So let's just make sure that that is indeed 45. Because it's important now. Because we need to know how much it turns. So this is like 225 take away 180 is 45. Yeah? So it means that this is middle. This is midway. So this is like, how you call this way? North, east, south, west. So this is southwest. SW. Anybody name is SW? So this is southwest here. So that when you sleep in the boat going so, southwest. So Cain went to sleep on a boat that was sailing on a bearing of 225. So this is how they bring bearings in exam. Very similar to this. They talk about some ship, some airplane, some train, some port, some tongues at a bearing, another tongue at the next bearing, how much it turn, or what bearing, that kind of thing. They're not going to bring the full bearings question like what we'll be beating out on the paper too. So I talking about the whole chemistry syllabus. We'll be doing chemistry multiple choice. And yes, the entire syllabus will be involved in the multiple choice. So and when Cain wake up, all of a sudden Cain facing this direction. Northeast this here, right? Northeast, yeah. So northeast. So how much you think Cain turn? It's very clear to see from the diagram, right? Diagrams are save lives. When they don't give you a diagram, drop down one for yourself, right there on the paper. I mean, don't go and draw on the paper that you had a shade in it. There's no vibes. If you're doing the e-testing, they'll give you a paper to write on. That obviously not handing up. You just, that is your paper. So the answer is D. Next question. Alright, so this is the question that I posted on Instagram. My Instagram is Cohen Springer. And a lot of people got problems with this question, boy. So when you know the answer, go and write it on the Instagram. I guess when people see angle of depression, it trigger them. It's be like, oh, I'm depressed as well. Krish, so are these CXE questions, by the way, of your organic chemistry videos you posted, keep up doing the great work? Yes, these are CXE style questions. I'm not going to post exact CXE questions. I mean, how am I to know if they are CXE questions? I am not from CXE. I do not have the CXE stash of the database of questions. I do not have access to that. So I can't verify, even if people write CXE on a paper and give me a CXE paper, I cannot verify that that is a CXE question. Only CXE can verify if it is a CXE question. What I can tell you is that these questions came from my mind and they are spot on. You can take that to the bank. They are spot on with what CXE brings for mathematics. We good like that. We can see, I wonder if this D is for this question. We get some answers here. Now this is a question, could take a little time. You only seen 8 here, only seen 8 here. Looking a little kind of awkward. So this is a flagpole. In CXE they like to name things, so they might be like FT, and I flagpole FT, and there is A, B, C or some kind of thing, so, and height of the man, and ting. But it's the same as the essence of the question is what we want, the juice. So this is like the hardest style of trigonometric questions that come for CXE, comes once in a while for CXE. Must have this under your belt. So angle of depression, the trick in this question, and I see a lot of answers falling the trick in the Instagram. The trick in this question is in number 1 line. The first few words, angle of depression. So angle of depression, and people is going to put the angle of depression here, which is wrong, but you'll get the correct answer. So that is one thing. But the next common mistake is people is put the angle of depression here. That is wrong, and you will get the wrong answer. The angle of depression is always the angle with the horizontal. The angle of depression, in fact, is over here. This is your 50 degrees. The angle of depression is with the horizontal. Just remember that little trick from me, please. I beg. On my knees. So, angle of depression is something that comes, and when they bring the angle of depression, they love to trick you like this. Because everybody's going to the 50 right here. And after that, it don't matter what you do, you're just wrong. Because if you put the 50 here, what is this angle in real? In real, this is a right angle, and this angle is really 40. And that is why some of the answers have 40 in them. So we know the answer with 50 is very likely wrong. Right? And what it is we're trying to find? We're trying to find the entire length of the post. We already know that the length of the post up to here is how much? H. How do we know that? Because that's the height of the man. H. So in essence, what we're really trying to find? We're trying to find this over here. Remember, earlier it had the BC and it was easy to see, but this time I had to think a little more. We're trying to find BC here, and that's just so easy to see, and you just plug it in one time and you go forward with your life. Here you need to figure it out that this is the missing key. This is the missing puzzle. Yeah. So if anybody here from Form 4 and they find this a little challenging, join my online class. We go through it, and it'll take, like what I'm doing here would have taken like 2 classes. Go through trigonometric ratios, Pythagoras Theorem, and 2.5 classes, 2-hour classes, that kind of thing. Plus you're getting assignments, plus you're correcting it. So just check out on Instagram to see how to, this number, just take down this number quick, 868-790-8813. +1 in some places, +1 868, yes Chavi, I'm teaching a class now.
Daddy,
Yes.
do you want to take a photo of my bed, please?
A photo of your bed? No thanks. So let's actually weigh these things up. So 8 here, and we're trying to figure out this. Why are we trying to figure out this? Because this plus h is the size of the pole. Yes, notice they have h plus something. H plus something, there's an excluded. So h plus this thing is the height of the pole. That's what they're asking, how tall the pole is in meters. So what we're using, are we going to use tan? Well, everybody knows tan we're using because the answers only have tan. So it's opposite, adjacent, so we're using tan. So you're going to say tan 40, not 50. Tan 40 is equal to opposite over this thing here we're trying to find. Let me just call it x for now. And when you bring across the x, you're going to get x is equal to 8 over tan 40. You know what that means? It means this here is 8 over tan 40. Kind of squeeze it in there. I wonder if you're all seeing that. No, you are not. No, you are. So 8 over tan 40. You'll see that there, right? Just now. I just want to make this properly done. Right. So 8 over tan 40. And that's the answer. 8 over tan 40 plus h. It's not that hard. Not that hard. For students who understood it before, it's like this complete revision and you just and you just write it down, make note of it, and you're feeling fresh now. For students who real rusty in this, or who didn't learn this, or who ducked class, or who was in the bathroom smoking while he was teaching this, or some kind of thing, or your mess was teaching this, but you was ducking class and in your boyfriend class or some kind of thing. I don't know. If you were slack and you wasn't in class, it could be hard for you right now. Or if your teacher was ducking class, if your teacher was the one that was ducking, yeah, pressure. But if you have that problem, even if you don't want to sign up to my online class, you can look. I have some free videos on this that can help. Just look up trigonometry, Cohen Springer. If you see some weird stuff, there's trigonometry for ad maths and there's trigonometry for pure maths. You want trigonometry for CSEC maths. You go on out of your head with no ad maths if it's not an ad maths done. Next question. 17. How do you know that the top is 40? You reached late, Selena, or you wasn't paying attention because I spent about 2 minutes explaining that. My teacher ducking class right here. Look, Kimoy, I just explained it for you there. Ramirez in the rabbit hole. Don't worry yourself, brother. So we're doing this straight up till exam. We're doing different subjects, chem, we touch a little physics, touch a little geo, all kind of thing. Add maths, pure maths. In the right angle triangle shown below, which trigonometric ratio is equal to 3/5? And again, this is something that comes in CXC like bread and butter. I am telling you, they are going to test you on sine, cosine, or tan. One way or the other. You must learn sine, cosine, or tan. There's a chance that they hit you a little sine rule and cosine rule in a kind of weird way. I think I have one of the weird kind of ways that they could hit you. But they are going to test you. Kyle, go sleep. Come on, you're cute. Kyle! Kyle! Ali would believe this, but last year, and this is a serious thing because I know the students. There were at least 2 couples that, like, people became couples after this live. Ali, we here for maths. We're not here for that kind of maths. Kyle tackling everything, yes. I have to over the video after the live finish because my battery low, plus not having proper internet connection. Don't worry, you could watch it back. But if you need live, you can ask questions. You know, in the right angle triangle shown below, so I've seen A as the answer, and I think that is correct because you've seen that this is your x, that is your opposite, and that is your hypotenuse. So 3 over 5, 3 over 5. So it's evident that we are using sin x. right? So you could probably take it one step further and maybe have which is equal to 5 over 3. And if you see 5 over 3, you might see 1 over sine x in the there's actually something for this, but they wouldn't write that. 1 over sine x in the answers. But yeah, we're pretty good here. Understand? Let's go on to the next question. Answer was E. 18 now. So these last few questions are bread and butter style questions for CSEC exams. Every time students come out the exams, teach them this, they say, yes, sir. That same kind of question come. This one, yeah, that same thing, sir. Yeah, that one, and that one, and that one. We've been doing this some time now. We know how the thing does go. So in the diagram above, PQ is parallel to RT. The value of QSR is another Kyle. It's a real Kyle's out here, but it's a Kyle Brooker, it's a Kyle just by Kyle, it's a Kyle Stewart. That Kyle name was real popular back then, boy. So who was the Kyle that had there? Who was the Kyle? What was the popular? Who was the popular person named Kyle back in 2000? And what year you born? 4? 3? Alright, so people saying the videos regarding electricity, I just do a little bit and then we stop. I was now starting up the physics video, electricity, and COVID-19 rush me. Now I also have like crash courses, like a crash through night before one thing. Last year we was doing some electricity. You could sit down and watch that, but just make sure you have your coffee and everything because that's like a last minute session where we're going for hours. Blessings, small blessings. So we get a letter A here. And what is this? What is being tested here? Parallel lines. Some people let's call this the Z thing. But there's names for this. There's names for this, people. You don't need to call it the Z thing no more. I'm here for you. No need to call it the Z thing. You could call it the let's behave. You could call this so these two are the same. These two are the same. These two are the same. So these are corresponding angles and alternate angles. And alternate angles. So alternate, corresponding. There's one more missing out. One more word that's used all the time. Corresponding, alternate, and another more complementary or supplementary. There's another word. Alternate, angles versus vertically opposite is no reverse. Alternate, corresponding, supplementary, another whatever. Interior, co-interior. I think it's co-interior. It's co-interior. Is the word is used? No matter out here. Don't matter. These two angles are the same. Opposite to each other. I think it's opposite. Vertically opposite. Vertically opposite angles are the same. I think it's that I was looking for. These two angles are the same, so obviously these two will be the same. These two angles here add up to 180 degrees. This angle will always be the same as this angle. I have videos on this where I explain each term and go through it in detail. This angle here will obviously be the same angle here. So the whole set repeat is only two angles repeating all the time. So all you need to do is watch over here. It's kind of hidden here because you're so accustomed seeing it cutting across like this. But don't worry, if you lengthen that and you lengthen that, boom, it's the same thing. It's there. So this is 37. It means that this is 37. And this had to be the missing piece to make 180. 37. And what is 180? Firstly, what angle they want? A lot of people said 8. What angle do we want? Earlier, this is how you interpret angles. QSR, the angle is an S, right? QSR R. So we don't want this angle, we want this one. Now, it's obvious we don't want this full angle here. Sometimes, when it's hard to determine which one they want, whether it's this one or this one, they will say the acute angle QSR, or the obtuse angle QSR, or the reflex angle QSR. So you know whether you're dealing with the big angle, the small angle, or the big one. But QSR is definitely not that, right? QSR is 143. 143 plus 37 is 180, so it's 143. Why is in the chat if you understand that? Now, when I'm talking, I try to cover all the hurdles and common errors and give you vital points. I hope you take that home. We're going to do 3 more questions. I'm about to put the hardest question up. If anybody get this question out, I might post this question on Instagram too to see what. Actually, no, Instagram is about engagement, so I don't want to post the hardest question and let everybody just watch it like, what's they trying to do here by demoralize me? Anyhow, so see about this question there. Now, don't watch the question and see and go, watch the question, take it in, read it, and really give it a good try. Good try. Now, if you don't know all the trigonometric formulas, or at least if you don't know how to recall the formula and go and find it in your book, you're just watching it for watching its sake. You can just watch it and look at the house and enjoy the house that's a drawing thing. You can just watch it for that. But if you know your formula as well, then you could go ahead and try the question. Adrian say, yeah, I feel this is where I exit. Wait, says Charles. Naomi, don't call the Lord name in vain. Selena, oh God. Alright, so if this happens to show up in your exam, I mean, there is the chance that these 2 rules show up in your exam. I'm going to talk about them before I go back to before I do the question. There's a few more rules. So in trigs, in the tree of trigs, there are quite a few branches, man. There's the Pythagoras branch. Alright, I know I can write better than that. Let me try my best. Oh yeah, it's be hard for me. Pythagoras Theorem. I ain't going to write theorem. I'm feeling tired. There's Pythagoras. There's the SOHCAHTOA, which we call the trig ratios. But there are other little formulas that I need to know for CSEC maths. There's the area of a triangle. Area of a right angle triangle is half, or a triangle where you can find the perpendicular height, right? Half base by height. This height here must be perpendicular to the base. Must be perpendicular to the base. Meaning, like if you have the triangle like this, right? And you have the height here, yeah, you can still use the formula. But if you have a weird triangle, like let me say like this, and you don't know base or height or anything, you can't use this formula. And the real people let's use that formula and you can't use it. But that's okay, we have a next formula for that. Half AB sine C. That's how we find the area of triangle again. If the triangle all whole. If we just know A and B and the angle in between them, we can find the area of the triangle like that. You should be writing this down. Yes. I know you're thinking whether to write it down or not. Yes, write it down. So that's that. What else? There is the sine rule. You see the branches we have on this thing? There's the sine rule. And then there's the cosine rule. There's also Hero's formula, which I ain't gonna touch that today. You can look at, I think I do a video on that. Or Heron's formula. The semi-perimeter and is subtracted from each side multiplying. Alright, so sine rule is A over sine A equal B over sine B equals C over sine C. Now when you're using this sine rule, normally you don't use the third thing, you just use these two. Right? but it shows that, and this is for all triangles. Sine rule and cosine rule is when you need to bring out the big guns for all triangles. This question make I get fever. I could complain about. So the sine rule is for all triangles. It's like if you have a triangle like this, A, you notice what I'm doing. B, common B for the sides, common C, capital C here. Sine of this angle over this side is the same as sine of this angle over this side, or you could say the other way. This side over the sine of that angle is the same as this side over the sine of that angle. I'm not going to go into it too much in depth. That is like a whole class and a half just for each rule there. Finally, a cosine rule is c squared is equal to a squared plus b squared plus 2ab cos of capital C. This is the creepiest rule of them all, and there are videos with me on YouTube going through this rule in depth for what happens in CSEC. Once again, this rule is if you see a kind of sandwich happening, like A, B, C, and capital C here. Substitute. And it just so happens, so it's something like our government, corrupt. I notice I lost like 20 people talking through the tricks there. Earlier, pay attention to this. Holy fort. We'll finish off with some easy questions. Let me just run through this question quickly for the adventurous. So I'm saying B. A few people said B. One person said A. Was there anyone who got this? One person said C. So let's see if any one of you all correct. You all can still put answers if you feel those answers wrong. So here's what you need to do. Try and determine what we want. That's isosceles. So this is also 9, and if they tell us that might be for a reason. This is W. That's the width. That's what we want. What is the width of the house? That's W. Common W. Capital W means that it's opposite. So like this is W as well. This is B. This is A. And this is 9 as well. That's all we know. What is the width? So we're trying to find this sine. Or let's see what we could use. We could use the sine rule. We could use the cosine rule. Depends on what the answer have. Can we use this? This looking like a kind of Pythagoras Theorem. And we can't use that kind of right angle triangle here. This looking like madness. This looking like the area of a triangle. So we can't use that. I see a kind of sine rule vibes here. So I'm going to keep this in my back pocket. And I see a kind of cosine rule vibes here. So it could be it could either be C or D. So you see how we eliminate and reach down. So as a student for the paper too, like any time running up to the exam, I would have been going through the live videos with paper 2 right now and teaching you how to spot when it's a cosine rule or how to spot when it's a sine rule. You can spot that this is a cosine rule because they gave you 2 sides and the angle in between. Now they didn't give you the angle in between, but they're using W all the time, right? In the answers. You don't need an exact answer to get the answer. You don't need like a numerical number like saying 3 or whatever. The size of the width of the house is 3 meters or 10 meters or whatever. You could just give one of these answers. I mean, that's what you have to do. Alright, so how do we know when I see cosine rule or sine rule? Let's see if we can work it out. Let's see if we can use the sine rule. The sine rule says that this side, remember this is like a C, but we're going to call that W. W squared, did I put squared in the sine rule here? Yes, C squared. So W squared is equal to this squared plus that squared here, A squared plus a B squared, 9 squared plus 9 squared. Already seeing that this starting to look like it could be it and this off. So I would just go with D. But I want to go through and prove to you all why it is D, right? So from here, if you just fight up with it a little bit and you know your little cosine rule and your sine rule, you'll be able to deduce it. D is indeed the correct answer. Ren says D. Ariel says D. Janil says D. Cool. So when in doubt, choose C. Yeah, you'd be definitely wrong. W squared is equal to 9 squared plus 9 squared. What is it? Subtract minus 2AB What is A and B? 9 and 9. So that is our next 9 squared. 2, 9 squared cos of capital C, which is really W. So W squared is equal to 2 of that minus 2 of this cos W. And when I get rid of the square by bringing across the square root, I'm going to get D. So this is easily the hardest question. I just felt it was D. Alright, well, you have good vibes. You have good vibes. So isn't the cosine rule used to find an unknown length? Yes. But the sine rule can be used to find an unknown length as well. So it's not like you're going to use as a rule to differentiate the two of them. And they don't want us to use calculator, they're wicked. Well, calculator would not help you in this question. The hardest questions in the multiple choice are questions that calculator doesn't even help you. Like, look at this question. There's no, you're not using a calculator. They don't want you to go and get the final answer. You understand? And they don't want us easily the hardest. Wasn't that hard though? So, 2 more questions to go, people. 2 more questions. Hold it down, hold it down. 164 people, right? We live in. 2 more questions. Yeah, just 2 more. This question is a repeat. I wonder if Selena or somebody was saying they didn't understand the 3, 4, 5 thing. But this question is that again. So see if you can get the answer to this question over there. This question not that hard. This back to like medium. Wasn't that hard though? It was challenging. This question we just do here was challenging. But by elimination, so like if you are a student that was going to get 2 or 1, you should have gotten this question by fighting up with it and eliminating. You'd have quickly realized that these 2 answers on top make no sense. And that is either you had to kind of feel what they're testing. Trying to figure out what topic is the question testing is like a hint. In fact, for pure maths, to avoid that hint, because knowing what the question is testing is an advantage, they try to scatter the topics. So you don't know what topic you're on. Right? But from the time you figure out this testing, if I know sine rule or cosine rule, let me see which rule looking like is the best here, you'd be able to pull the correct answer and you'd get through. And there are going to be a few tough questions in your multiple choice. I can guarantee that. So you need to learn how, not just how to do the maths, but how to do multiple choice. You know what I'm saying? And that's what these sessions will prime you up for. The answer for 20 is D, says Justin Mohammed. Alex Wilson says D, Ronaldo, you answering this question too, D. Let me see if we can get some answers. Now. Like, God bless you, Justin. You know the answer. 6 o'clock. We on for an hour and 10 minutes already. And I wanted to take an hour. No, we just had 1 more question after this. Princess J says D as well. Ariel says D. This live saving after all the multiple choice lives are saving. Unless Chavi come and probably give my account number or some kind of thing on the live. I don't know. I'm just waiting for the day this man come and say something. I had to just turn off the live and say, sorry people. The following represents the lengths of 4 triangles. No, but him giving my account number would not be a bad thing. Someone on them might say, so could use a new MacBook or something. Let me bless him. And just drop something. Just so. The following represents the length of 4 triangles. So this is like a 3, 4, 5 triangle. Which of the triangles are right angle triangles? So you understand how they're testing to see? So there are a few types of triangles that work automatically. The 3, 4, 5. Another type is, well, any multiple of 3, 4, 5, right? So like 6, 8, 10, or 30, 40, 50 would work as well. Any multiple, once you multiply each number by the same thing. Another type is like the 5, 12, 13. We see that here. 5, 12, 13, and you can check it. 5 squared is 25, 12 squared is 144. 144 plus 25 is 169. The square root of 169 is 13. These are rare triangles, right? They don't happen all the time. Only these specific numbers happen. So it means that the other numbers, when you join it up to make a triangle, it will not form a right angle triangle. That's what they're testing you here. On here. Because they don't want you to actually go and join up this and see if you can make a right. They're just testing to know if you can identify all the triangles that automatically will form a right angle. And this is one too, because this is the 3, 4, 5 hiding here. 3 by 4 is 12, 3 by 4 is 16, 3 by 4 is 20. So this is one as well. And this is not one. These numbers too whack. It was going good maybe with the 9 and the 15 maybe. But this is not one. So 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 4, sorry. D. Well done. All those who said D. Anika, Ronaldo, Telisa, Sharikan, Anika, Ren. I catch. E, because 2 is not a multiple. 2 is not a multiple, but it's also a type of triangle. I hope you see that version. I would have drawn all and see. Well, now you know you don't need to draw all, but I would still advise you to sketch all and just vibes it a little bit, you know. See 5 squared, 12 squared, 169. Yeah. Even this one, be a little paranoid about it. 12, 16, 20. You had that there, and you know if you finish the exam, you could come and double check 12 squared, 144, 16 squared. How much that is by 16 squared as well? 2 something. 256. I think so. 144, 256, add up, yeah, 400. Square root of 400 is 20. Right. So everything will work out. Next question. Let's do the last question and call that George, boys and girls. I make a mistake with that screenshot. I did it over. So the last question is a final style of bearings question that comes a lot. Students always say this kind of question come. Like, and by come a lot, I mean like once every 2 years, even more frequent. And it's a work of art. Don't get frightened with all the diagram, it's easy. So vibes that question and see if you can get the answer for it. This is the last one we're doing for today. No, my boy trying to kill me, thank God you done. See, the teacher content? No, I don't, but you can check out this channel on YouTube. Adapt tuition, you can thank me later. This man is just be killing off accounts. Adapt tuition. And he will do lives before the exams. He already doing lives coming up. He's be real busy because he have private classes and them too, but not approach tuition, adapt tuition. And when you make a mistake, or the easiest thing you all can do is just join the Student Hub. As I said, search Student Hub on Google, or search Student Hub on Instagram, the Student Hub, the _Student Hub. Click the link in the bio, and bam, inside a hub on Discord. 3,100 students and teachers. It have a good bit of teachers now because I invite a whole set of teachers. I know all the teachers, but I have a good bit of teachers inside there now. Maybe I would say maybe going up the road to 30, 40 teachers should be inside there. And they will help you. You can get any past paper you want, any resource, help with questions, know where the best lessons classes, you can ask those kind of things. So most people say in D, let me see why. A ship sailed 10 kilometers due east from port A. Yeah. To port B before sailing 7 kilometers due north to C. Right, so that was just real easy, boy. But what you need to do is ignore the diagram saying now, and you draw a diagram separately. 10 kilometers due east, right? And 7 kilometers due north. That is it. So A to B to C. So all these are making no sense. You see how that one was real easy? So the answer is D. Now, it's important to know wording with bearings question. One thing before I go. Like if they say the ship sailed 10 kilometers due east, it means it's going east. If they say the ship sailed from an eastern direction, or the ship was coming from the east. You understand what I'm saying? Coming from, that word from. It used to tie from port A. From port A means you start off on A, which was in the east, and then you're coming this way. So look out for the from, the due, and the to with bearings. Especially in paper 2s, it's kind of more tricky. In this, you can kind of decode it pretty easily. But there's a common mistake. Common mistake. Alright, people, so that's it for today. We had a long session today, 1 hour and 16 minutes. We'll be here again tomorrow. I have a pure maths class in the afternoon. So maybe I did my private pure maths class on Monday, but sometimes it's double up and do 2 sessions a week because pure maths dread like that. Maybe I might just do a public class on that. A public class on multiple choice for pure maths. So I don't know if there's any pure maths person hiding inside here. I'll press like on the video. If you could just share the video now as you're going, just share the video, that'd be really good. Share. You could take a screenshot and share. You could use the share button and share to wherever. So that more people will come on it. So that your friends from school and things will come on it. We want to build up the battalion. So right now it's averaging at 150. Between 150 and 300 depending on how much people I think the first class was about 300. So I guess between 100 and 300. But coming out the exams, the numbers go to ridiculous amounts, like 500, 700. The largest class I thought was about 2,000 people live at the same time. The chat is just going so. So try to invite as much people as you can. Follow me on Instagram if you're interested in joining me live. Like if you're just watching this video, but you're really doing CSEC next year, my classes are starting back in June. Join that class. All the best. Glad to have you all here in these study sessions. Love and blessings. Stay safe. Don't get Kyle. I hope you get you, bro. I hope you get some Instagram handles and don't distract nobody, child, from exams.